Movies were about telling great stories, and you didn't need a political lecture every time you hit play. Great entertainment still exists, it's just getting harder to find. Even the biggest streaming platforms leave audiences disappointed. That's why there's Studio TST, pure entertainment, real comedy, independent films, bold creators, movies, comedy, music, and more, and the home of fearless sketch comedy. That show tonight. Entertainment the way you want it. Funny, creative, unapologetic, and agenda-free. Studio TST. The future of entertainment starts here. Join Studio TST today for just $5 a month.
Hello, friends. Do you have a moment so that we may discuss our Lord and Savior Minarchy? No, seriously, I'm just kidding. Hi, my name's Rick Robinson. I am the general manager of KLRNradio.com. We are probably the largest independent podcast network that you've never heard of. We have a little bit of everything, and by that, what I mean to tell you is we have news, pop culture, special events, conspiratainment, true crime, mental health shows, drama productions, and pretty much everything in between. So if you're looking for a new podcast home to grab a little bit of everything that you love all in one place, come check us out. You can find us on X under @KLRNradio. You can find us on our Rumble and our YouTube channels under the same names. You can also find us at KLRNradio.com and pretty much every podcast catcher known to man. So again, feel free to come check us out anytime you like.
In uncertain times, we could use someone to lean on. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Oklahoma will stand by you with plan options to fit your budget. If you've recently lost your job, had a baby, or moved, you can still get the healthcare coverage you and your family need. Financial help may be available for those who qualify. Call 855-452-BLUE or visit hereforyouok.com to see if you're eligible to enroll. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Oklahoma, a division of Healthcare Service Corporation, a mutual legal reserve company.
Hi, everyone. This is JJ, the co-founder of Good Pods. If you haven't heard of it yet, Good Pods is like Goodreads or Instagram, but for podcasts. It's new, it's social, it's different, and it's growing really fast. There are more than 2 million podcasts, and we know that it is impossible to figure out what to listen to. On Good Pods, you follow your friends and podcasters to see what they like. That is the #1 way to discover new shows and episodes. You can find Good Pods on the web or download the app. Happy listening.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
The following program contains coarse language and adult themes. Listener discretion is advised.
And good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome in to the Weekend News Roundup. I am one of the crew, Mr. Rick Robinson. I'm also joined by the floating head of doom, otherwise known as BZ. How you doing today, sir? How's you?
Yes. For a second there, I thought it was only going to be Amy who was real.
Yeah. I almost thought about it. I was like, you know what? She has her camera turned on, so I'll go ahead and turn mine on too in solidarity. But yeah, so yeah.
Unity.
For some reason, we can't figure out how to get your camera to play nice with Restream, which if I live closer, I would come help you, but I'm not flying all the way to Utah just to help you.
In the long run, is it really worth it? Is it really necessary? My dad flew B-17s in World War II, and we have a photograph of him standing under the nose of a B-17. And I wish that he had come up with this, but he didn't. He said, one of the gunners did. On the side of the nose, it says, "Is this trip really necessary?"
Okay, that's kind of awesome.
That was great.
And so we're also joined by Town Hall contributor, former Twitchy cohort, till she got famous and left us, How you doing, Amy? How's
I'm
things?
I'm doing all right. Now, like I said backstage, and to the listeners, I apologize in advance. We got a kitten last Sunday, and he's currently in my room. So if you hear screaming or toys, that's Winston. Maybe if he behaves, I will pick him up and show him to you by the end of the stream. Oh, hi. There we go. Hang on.
Oh, behave.
Oh, look, it's Winston. Hi, Winston.
He literally climbed up my leg the second I said that. Yes. He is about 9 weeks old and a terror.
Yeah, well, at 9 weeks, that's pretty much all. That's what they are.
Yeah. That's pretty much the youngest I've ever had a kitten. So it's a learning curve. It's like having a very furry newborn.
Yeah.
So Neville is still around.
Neville is still around. Neville is not sure about this new interloper, but we haven't had any big blow ups yet. So hopefully he'll realize he now has a friend. I think Neville needed a friend. I just think.
I think you might have gotten Winston early enough where Neville gets used to him before the whole territorial thing kind of kicks in. Because, any bigger and it probably would have been kind of bad. But yeah.
Yeah, no, he is. I am afraid of how tiny he is. He weighs a little over 2 pounds. Oh, reminds me, I've got to weigh him today. He's currently crawling up my back.
Oh yeah, we saw him. He was playing peekaboo.
He's
like, "Hi guys."
Yeah, I know. No, he's like I said, it's like having a child. My kids can ignore me all day until the second I'm on the phone. Then they need mom. So I will try to maintain a semblance of professionalism.
Yeah, it's not really required around here. Just saying. I mean,
It's
have you met me? Have you met me? Hey, we got an Al sighting in the chat who is on vacation right now. It's making me really, really nervous or jealous.
Well, can you disclose where you are on vacation? Because that would be interesting.
I think it's a staycation mostly, but I know actually I take it back. He said this was it was his last work day, like the Thursday before Memorial Day or Wednesday or Thursday before Memorial Day till June. But I think it's mostly a staycation. I think right now they're using the time to plan their big vacation, which is next year. Actually, I think they're going where you're going in a couple weeks.
That's cool. Yeah, in a week I will be gone. This will be my last
Don't say will and testament, please.
No, not my last will and testament, but definitely my last KLRN radio for several weeks. So
yeah, so Al has a message regarding your professionalism comment. Says it's KLRN. We don't do professionalism here.
Because it ain't happening, especially today.
Yeah, I actually need to be converting my computer to Linux Mint. I'm just too lazy to do it yet because I'm not buying another machine just to be able to get up to Windows 11.
Well, let me ask a stupid question because I'm easy. I ask stupid questions. Because Windows is generally such a pain. If you do something like Linux Mint, for example, as the OS, does it play nice with others?
Linux Mint, from what I understand and the research I've done, is about the closest equivalent to Windows you can get without it being Windows. So it usually works well with everything else. Usually.
Okay. All right.
And it's open source, so it's not something you can go find it instead of having to pay Windows extortion prices. So
yeah, because Windows right now is saying, "Oh, you're on Windows Neanderthal. Upgrade immediately."
Yeah, mine isn't even giving me that option. It's like, hey, Windows 10 support has stopped. Please click here to find a new machine because your machine's so old. Which explains why I got this one so cheap. I got this one like on fire sale like 3 years ago, and it was like less than $200, and I was like, why is a machine this cool less than $200? And now I know why, because it wasn't going to survive the next upgrade. Go figure.
No.
Okay, well, I'm sticking Windows Mint in the tickler file.
Linux Mint. You put Windows Mint in there, it's going to get really confused.
Linux Mint. Go. Huh, okay. Thank you.
Oh, all right. So, I mean, where we want to go first, because it's not like there's any shortage of things to talk about. I keep waiting for Trump to come out of the Situation Room and tell us that he's turned Iran into a parking lot, but it hasn't happened yet. So.
No, much to my disappointment. Or that we've invaded Cuba and now own Guantanamo Bay and all the
Right.
surrounding area.
Trump,
I don't even know where to begin. It's been a
he
heck of a
worries
week.
me.
Yeah. So yeah. So you say he worries you. Expound, please, for the folks that are tuning in.
I've said for the past 2 weeks, and I don't know. I hesitate saying this. It's your show, not mine. But
Eh.
I think Trump has been, people say, oh, all you do is just Trump this, Trump that. No, Trump has made some really stupid mistakes, particularly since January or so, past 6 months. And things that I truly bigly disagree with. And one of them is you don't negotiate with Islam. Everybody in the past has made a mistake of attempting to negotiate with Islam. You don't negotiate with people like this. Oh, BZ, people like this. Muslims. Can I be any more clear about that? Not even necessarily, hey, folks, you're being so terrible. And then you ask leftists, where's the greatest amount of Muslims? Saudi Arabia, Iraq. No, you meatheads, it's Indonesia. A different form, for whatever reason, well, I know why, than what is practiced in the Middle East. You don't negotiate with the Middle Eastern version of Islam. You kill them. You don't negotiate. I fear Trump is way too wrapped up on art of the deal. No, you kill them. Stop negotiating, keep the blockage, shoot everyone, kill everyone, because you've got the greatest amount of forces over there right now that you will ever have, because any subsequent president to Trump will not have the will or the political ability to marshal as much materiel there in that region as you have right now. And you're not far from pissing away this advantage, President Trump, and utilizing all the things that you have in that area, in that region. And if you don't, that will all have been for naught, because guaranteed no one else is going to be interested. History proves that. Since 1979 and before, all the opportunities were there. Democrats, Republicans, pussies all, cowards in the face of Islam. You don't negotiate. You embrace Netanyahu and say, hey, Bibi, how quickly can we kill them all? I wonder if I'm sorry for hedging and being reticent about telling you and being a snowflake and a wallflower about what I really think. Someday I'll come out of my shell.
Yeah,
Sorry.
don't hold back anymore.
Sorry, I know.
Yeah,
Tell us how you really feel.
You really got to start learning not to hold things in.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
I know. I'm too filtered.
Mm-hmm. Too filtered.
Like a bad cigarette.
No, but the art of the deal and negotiation hinges on having honorable and upright people to negotiate with. As we know, especially the Middle Eastern version of Islam, lying to get what you want and lying to advance your agenda is the norm. They will say and do whatever it takes to get what they want, including lying about this deal. And I don't trust a deal, any deal with them, no matter what they say they're going to do, isn't worth the paper that it's written on. Because the second Trump is out of office, even if he's succeeded by a Republican, they are going to renege on that deal so fast it'll make your head spin.
Show me one time where Iran, not even Iran, has honored a negotiation, has honored a contract, has honored anything.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
In terms of history, I've put that out in the ether on social media any number of times. Give me an instance. Show me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's this deal and this deal and this deal. Yeah, to which they almost immediately broke.
Yep. Every single time.
Instead of Reagan, it's not trust but verify. It's don't trust and kill them.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh,
I
BC,
mean,
you're so harsh.
I've said about the only reason that I think that we haven't gone that route because is I think Trump is figuring out that he's running into the economic issues that are going to turn into completely just removing a government because we can't really do that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't been able to do that for a long time, and they did that on purpose.
Yep.
After World War II, they started intertwining everybody's economies because everybody freaked out that 30 years after the war to end all wars, we were basically in another one. They're like, this can't ever happen again, and this is what we're going to do to stop it. Which is why I've said from the beginning, I really wish this would have been dealt with on January 22nd of 1981, because they wouldn't have had time to take hold yet.
Mm-hmm.
And we wouldn't have been destabilizing anything. There's a good chance that, especially if this goes on much longer, even if we don't bomb them anymore, come September or October, they're not going to be making money off their oil anymore because their whole little ghost ship network has been docked. So in another few months, they're going to be completely broke. I mean, hell, they're already at like 150% inflation, all this other stuff. I mean, we're dangerously close to toppling the entire world. And it's that way by design. And I think that's one of the things Trump has kind of run headlong into is all these decisions that were made when we were either non-existent or really, really small that we had no say in that have changed the entire scope of the planet. Now we're trying to figure out how to negotiate them when you have people that are suicidal and don't give a damn if the world collapses because they want it to in the first place.
Right. That's like their goal. Their dream is to bring about the apocalypse, the Islamic version of the apocalypse, and they'll do anything they have to stop it. Like to do that. I mean, not just anything it takes.
Like, and sadly, the left is kind of right there with them anymore. They just don't really care what happens as long as they get to rebuild whatever remains in their image when it's done. So we're kind of running headlong into conflicting ideologies with the same goals, and it's becoming harder and harder to navigate. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't think we should still do the right thing and figure out how to deal with it later. I'm just saying I think Trump is figuring out that, I still think he thought he was going to be able to do another Snuggie Snatch and this was going to be over.
Yeah.
No, but Snuggie Snatch did lead to some good things, and the potentiality is there. It's directly affecting Russia. It's directly affecting Gazprom. It's directly affecting China. So the noose around the neck of Iran also yields a noose around other allies or proxies. And Iran itself is a proxy anyway. So the opportunity is here. And at this point, I don't know what you guys think, but I am definitely of two minds about the midterms. One goes, oh gosh, look at all the recent wins we've gotten. The other one goes, if this gets screwed up on Trump, number one, we're already dead because the opposing team customarily wins in midterms. But if you fuck this up, Trump, and if you don't do as BZ says, because I'm smarter than you are, I'm a much better president. Just ask me. And I would have done things much, much differently. But you have the opportunity to solve any number of problems. Don't sway to your first instinct, which is negotiate yourself out of everything. It's worked for you in the past. This isn't your business venue. This is a global scale now with people that want to kill you and will lie to your face and smile and then shove a nuclear missile up your bunghole if they can.
I need TP for my bunghole.
I knew that was coming.
Yep.
I knew that was coming.
Sometimes BZ inserts things for opportunities.
Yeah, you teed that up and Rick hit it right out of the park.
Yes.
It's one of the few impressions I can do, so I had to.
Oh.
That one and Cartman are about my only consistent ones. Everything else kind of sounds weird.
So the chance is here. You got to take it. And the other thing is, I'm looking at stories. Where is this? Where Iran was seen loading 2 million barrels of crude on very large tankers on Friday. Shipping Monitor said there's no final contract, but apparently in the deal, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, There's the possibility of money exchanging, or in lieu of that, like, okay, maybe there's the shipment of money. I don't know.
Mhm.
And Iran charging for the Strait of Hormuz? No. Or the unfreezing of assets? Double no.
No, that is a horrible mistake. Horrible.
Well, here's
Don't
the thing.
involve
The-
money.
Well, these are all the things coming from Iranian backed sources.
That's true.
Every time anybody on our side hears these things, they keep pushing back and saying that none of that's in there. And we still haven't actually even seen the framework. And I think that's part of the reason why Trump is hanging out in the Situation Room right now, because I think he's about tired of their BS too. Now, what I will say is one of the things that nobody on the left or the right has been willing to admit is Iran has been making money off of their oil this entire time. What they do is they have this shadow fleet that basically turns off its transponders and changes all its paperwork before it leaves port. Then somewhere down where they can actually claim that the oil came from, it's usually somewhere like Singapore. They meet up with a Chinese ship, offload it, and it goes straight to China. China never lists a drop coming from Iran, but hundreds of thousands of barrels coming from Singapore.
Right.
So the idea that they're not ever going to make money off of oil is just dumb. But them being able to directly and openly make money from oil, no, they don't need to be doing that, especially not right now. But this whole idea that we're going to be able to choke them out of existence when they've been allowed to do that. And the thing about it is everybody knows, every Western nation knows that they've been circumventing the sanctions, but they've been too afraid to do anything about it up until now.
Right. And they're not doing, like BZ said, you go in there, you annihilate them. End of discussion. That's how this ends. That's how you come out a winner. And I think the biggest mistake was not telling the people to stay home and not arming the citizens who had been fighting against the regime for months at this point and helping them topple the government.
It's like John Wick to the Iranian citizens. Guns. Lots of guns.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And back under Reagan, we had a 500 ship U.S. Navy, a blue water Navy.
Mm-hmm.
And now we don't even have ships that do well in the littorals that well anymore. And there aren't enough naval assets, to make sure that we can keep tankers from coming in the dark of night with no radar, no chirps. It's not possible to watch it all. We don't have that capability. So a blockade as best we can. We know there's going to be some that slip through. And of course, when they slip through, the American media maggots are, yay! Yay! China gets more oil. Yay!
Yep. Exactly.
Since it's all the Chinese oriented leftists are insane and CCP plants anyway.
Oh, right.
Hello, Michelle Wu in Boston. I wouldn't be talking about you, would I? On period day, would I?
Right.
No, of course not. Yeah.
Right. A beautiful waste of taxpayer dollars in Boston right there. So.
Yeah. What are you going to do?
All the Democrat socialists.
Oh, of course.
Blah, 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 blah. I like this story. UAE conducted dozens of strikes on Iran during the war and after the truce.
Good.
It's nice. Dozens of airstrikes in Iran in the first days of the U.S.-Israeli war and after the ceasefire in April. Okay. Well, gee, that doesn't have anything to do with Iran throwing shit at the UAE, did it? No. Nothing like that.
Of course not. No. Couldn't have anything to do with that. But yeah, no.
Jeez, pizza. Okay, Amy, how many thousands of articles did you write today?
I think today was just 12.
Oh, geez.
Only 12.
You
only 12.
God,
I know. I was slacking. They're going to fire me.
All right, so yeah, I have one that actually isn't Amy's because you guys made, after the whole Supreme Court brouhaha over the Voting Rights Act, Louisiana did finally pass their new congressional map, but some Republicans are still pissed because they left one racially charged district behind, and they're like, well, if it's if it's not supposed to be a thing anymore, why is it still a thing? So yeah, they kind of went back where they were before, because of course they had them redraw the map to make 2 districts and basically made this weird like river. There's like land masses of red with a river of blue diagonally throughout the state. Now there's just like one little inlet, kind of makes it. Actually, kind of looks like the Strait of Hormuz. Interestingly enough.
Oh, the irony.
But yeah, so they left one behind. So a lot of Republicans are like, wait a minute. If it's unconstitutional to have racially motivated districts, why do we still have a racially motivated district?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And I see a federal judge halts Trump's anti-weaponization fund.
Well, of course he did.
Yep.
Of course they did.
And right. And we had Gavin Newsom, Kathy Hochul, and I believe Connecticut all saying, yeah, you guys get money from that fund. We're going to tax it at 100%, which
that's
is
not
illegal.
a tax. That's a levy.
Yeah. It's illegal, probably violates the Bill of Attainder clause in the Constitution. But, it made him real happy to finally say 100% tax rate. Keeping in mind, I don't know, I guess they all think that the only people getting a payout from this fund are the January 6th people who were, many of them, maliciously prosecuted for doing things that a BLM person did orders of magnitude worse and got to walk away with. I think it's more than fair that they get compensated for it, but it's open to other people who are victims of weaponization as well, like all the pro-lifers that Joe Biden attacked with the FACE Act and tried to throw in prison for decades because they stood outside an abortion clinic. The tyranny
And have
of these
the audacity to pray.
Right. And to protect their son when an abortion escort got, in his face and started problems. My son was in DC in January for the March for Life, and one of these pro-abortion activists threw eggs at them. They're a bunch of high school kids, and they threw eggs at them. The cops busted that and broke that shit down right away. But my son's friends got pelted with eggs because that's who we're dealing with. But no, not only do they want to be able to weaponize the government against their political opponents, and they've said as much. They said they're going to do that if they regain power. They are going to go after every person and institution who didn't adequately resist Trump during this administration. Now they're going to say, yeah, we're going to weaponize it, and we're also going to make sure you can't get compensated for us destroying your lives.
Well,
who's the authoritarian and the dictator again? Remind me.
When leftists speak to me in social media, that kind of thing, and they say, oh, J6, and then I retort with, all of 2020, $2 billion worth of damages, $2 billion plus worth of insurance costs that insurance companies mostly won't cover, hashtag because 25 deaths, arsons, burnings, COVID, but it's okay for the people to riot and protest without masks anyway. And then I always say, but then what about, tell me the number of times that you've had people thrown in prison for misdemeanors that never saw the interior of a courtroom for their prelim in 4 years. That occurred following J6 for 2 hours. Plus, how many leftists can say that they were thrown in solitary confinement for months and years, and on top of that, still never got a prelim court date?
Right. No, not a one, because
radio silence.
Right. The ACLU would have shut that down so fast. I noticed they weren't doing anything for the January 6th crew. Okay. Seriously. The malicious prosecution and the double standard in the two-tier justice system is obvious to everyone.
Winston is being so cute.
That's not the word I'd use, but okay, there's a reason why I'm holding him now, because he keeps trying to jump on my desk. He keeps trying to climb my curtains. He keeps turning on my alarm clock. So no, he's going to get wrangled for the rest of the show. He's going to sit right here.
He's trying to make sure you're not late. He's want to make sure your alarms are set.
By the way, folks, did you know that small kitten claws like that are used like syringes when they run low in PPE? If you want a syringe, you just get a kitten claw.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it feels great when you climb up my leg.
Oh, I'm sure.
Fantastic. The tattoos I have hurt less.
Darn.
So did you guys hear about this one? To change gears and go more locally for at least a little bit. So the Democrats have a really big fear right now. You have any idea what that might be?
Reality.
One of them is the Bidens returning when they don't want them to return at all.
Well,
What's
yeah,
the
that's
other-
one.
What's the other?
It's not the one I was going for, though. They're really afraid that the GOP will turn James Tallarico into a creepy, unmanly weirdo. We don't have to, though.
No, he's done a bang up job of that
He's
himself.
done it himself.
Seriously.
He has done it himself. Speaking of him, I have a very short clip, but it's one that needs to be played for reasons. Hang on.
Okay.
And here we go.
Every one of our neighbors with a uterus became the property of the state.
One of our neighbors with a uterus to be able to control their own body.
Our neighbors with a uterus.
One of our neighbors with a uterus.
Every
Our what now?
Yeah, right. I wrote about this. So awesome. Yeah, in that second clip where he's sitting in the chair, if you watch the longer answer to that, there will be a spot where he starts to say woman and then what neighbor with a uterus.
Oh, damn
Because
it.
heaven forbid you acknowledge that women fucking exist. It might offend some mentally ill dude in a dress. Seriously. I am not a neighbor with a uterus. I am not an egg producer. I am not a birth giver. I am not a menstruating person. I am a woman. Stop fucking coming up with euphemism for me to appease the trans crowd who will never be happy anyway. Sorry for yelling in your ear.
God, you seem so harsh and judgmental.
It pisses me off because these are the people you can't call them homeless because that's dehumanizing. You can't call them criminals because that's dehumanizing. Call them the unhoused. Call them the what is the term they use for criminals? Justice involved persons. But women, you're an egg producer. You're basically a chicken, you know. But vote for us because we care about you. Right.
And you liberated women. Oh my gosh,
Right.
You're so wonderful because all you're doing with your nose rings, which is what people put in bulls to pull them around by their nose,
Mhm.
comma, you idiots. But oh no, we want men to keep stepping on ourselves, and we allow it, and we love it, and we embrace it. Oh, and we love Islam too. Just thought I'd throw that in.
Right. But toxic masculinity is a problem, and you guys better not be masculine. And the patriarchy is going to keep us down. Okay, sure. As you let a guy who says he's got a female dick walk around my locker room. All right, tell me more about the patriarchy and toxic masculinity. Okay, there was a story out of San Francisco where. What are we laughing at? Are we laughing at me or the cat?
No, did you see Alan Ray's comment in chat? I saw neighbors with a uterus warm up for Pearl Jam in the 90s.
Nice. That actually would make a very good band name. Not going to lie. Not going to lie. I love it.
Considering God, what are their name? The Seattle Grunge. They had the title of their album In Utero.
Like everybody's gonna kill me if I don't think of this. Not Pearl Jam. Nirvana. Is it Nirvana?
Yes, Nirvana.
Thank you, Nirvana. Got it.
1000.
All right. Right. No, but even San Francisco, which, as we all know, is not a bastion of sanity or conservatism in any way, shape, or form. The YMCA finally got sick of a guy walking around the locker room and imposed rules that basically said keep nudity to a minimum and brief and discreet. And then this guy just disappeared. You know, he was a woman and he had a right to be there right up until they told him he couldn't flash everybody in this locker room. Then he was gone. So tells me all I need to know about the patriarchy and toxic masculinity, but I digress. Yes, Nirvana. There we go. I'll put you down now. There we go.
Don't worry, Mom. I'll be right back up your
Yeah.
exposed leg.
Set the timer to see how long it takes him to climb back up the chair. So, but that's okay. He's cute, and it's what keeps him alive.
Did you guys happen to see this at UC? I saw this from Wall Street Journal. The Academy rethinks the SAT. University of California faculty say that when tests were dropped, student learning fell. Let's see. There might have been one 5-year-old in Yugoslavia that didn't see that coming. Maybe.
Right. And he was blind. The rest of us saw that coming a mile away.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so I saw. I don't remember. I didn't see which one of you it was, but you sent an X post in the chat that talked about how there was a judge that just blocked Trump's name from being added to the Kennedy Center. That's actually not what the order said, though.
What does the order say?
The order actually says the following. The court granted Joyce Beatty's motion for a preliminary injunction in relevant part. The defendants, including their employees, agents, and anyone acting with them, are enjoined from enforcing or implementing the Kennedy Center Board of Trustees March 16, 2026 decision to wind down programming and close the Kennedy Center doors effective July 5th, 2026, while repairs restoration funded by Section 60025 of the One Big Beautiful Bill Act are completed. So basically all they did was say, hey, you can't shut it down while you're restoring it.
Okay, I don't understand how that's the purview of a judge.
Well, it's because
Anyway.
the people that work there filed an injunction because they were going to lose tons of money for months while it was shut down.
Okay. Sucks to be you, says everybody who had to live through COVID and lost their jobs.
Right? I mean, I'm not necessarily saying right or wrong. I'm just saying the whole thing, because when I opened the X post, it was like they just blocked Trump's name from being added to Kennedy Center, and I'm like, that's not even what it says, though. What the hell? So the other thing is, apparently, in order for this to remain a thing, they actually have to post a bond. Now, it's not a big bond. It's like a $1 bond by June 5th, and the parties must meet and confer, then file a joint status report by the same date, proposing next steps or competing schedules for further proceedings. So the court is saying, no, the Trump side defendants cannot go forward with shutting down the Kennedy Center under the March 16 board decision, at least not for now. The judge is not necessarily deciding the whole case yet. He's freezing that closure plan while the lawsuit moves forward. So it's a TRO. It's basically a TRO, temporary injunction kind of thing. So it's not even a final decision yet, but they're saying, yeah, right now it can't close till they figure things out. So they still may lose, just for the record. But yeah, the whole post of, oh my God, they just blocked his name from being put on the Kennedy Center. No, that's not even what that was about. So, yay. I hate people that do that. I really do.
Right.
I liked your other story about Frederica Wilson. I didn't know this.
Did you that she's stepping down?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. After she
Yeah,
said
that-
that was,
Doing that. That's not me.
she's like, that's not even news. That's crazy talk. I wouldn't do that. And then now she's announcing.
She's been also absent from Congress for at least 2 months now because she had some surgery and wasn't voting and wasn't present. And for the people who scream about Black representation in Congress and minority districts and the will of the people, they were quiet about her not being there to do her job for weeks on end. But yeah, the cowboy hat wearing chick is gone, apparently.
How's
That's about how I feel about that. Just saying.
Oh.
The
Caveman
that she is-
too. The Geico Caveman is gone too.
He was kicked out of the
You know what?
kicked out of the speed.
At least he was entertaining, though.
Yeah, he was. Kane Caveman.
That is true.
But yeah,
that is true.
I never really got wherever, because I heard somebody call him that before, and I never really got that nickname until I saw his actual photo that
Face.
So what? Yeah, when he. Well, it didn't show up as much like when he's like throwing a fit in Congress and stuff, but on his still shot for when he got elected, which is what they posted when he lost his race, I was like, now I get why everybody used to call him the Geico Caveman.
Yeah, once somebody pointed out to me, then I couldn't unsee it. But yeah, he really does. It's kind of funny.
Well, the other thing that did you guys ever see him with a smile?
Nope.
Did you ever see him where the faux outrage and umbrage wasn't on great display? You know, how do these people live in their worlds like this, where they're perennially unpleased, unhappy. Nothing is right. I hate everyone, especially conservatives. I don't smile. I'm outraged 24/7, 365, just because I have to be. I don't know how people do that without, today looks like a good day for seppuku. I don't get that at all. I couldn't live like that.
Yeah, I couldn't either. But that's why we're not part of the perpetual outrage machine, though. Because if we could live that way, we'd probably figure out how to make money off of it.
Mm-hmm. Right. But what a miserable existence. Absolutely miserable. Just be happy. A lot of stuff is messed up and sucks, but there's a lot of things to be happy about. Like the weather is beautiful. The sun is shining. It's Friday. My kid finished school. Like, find the things that make you happy. I have a cute little kitten who's a pain in the ass, but cute nonetheless.
We had a great thunderstorm last night. It was fabulous. I love thunderstorms.
I do too.
We used to get them in the summertime in Ohio when I was living in Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a big old hanging lightning strike that struck across. Before we lived on base, we lived in a townhouse, and it struck across a little regional railroad track when Penn Central was still operating, hit a tree probably 100 yards away, and broke my window in the room.
Oh my gosh.
Kaboom. It was very big, very loud. It was really cool.
We had one a couple of weeks ago where it woke me up. Like, at first I didn't know what it was. I thought something had hit the house, and it was just a thunderclap that was so loud it woke me out of a dead sleep.
It's grand. I love that stuff.
So speaking of loud booms, did you guys see what happened to the Blue Origin rocket?
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was. Everybody is okay, but it looked like a scene from Oppenheimer. I'm not even exaggerating.
Oh, yes, it does. It was glorious. I worked in EOD.
It sounded like a scene from Oppenheimer. I mean, I'm watching a news story today, and dude was like 5 miles away driving down the road, and his girlfriend's like, "Holy crap, what was that?" And he's like, "Yeah, that's not good. That's a really big fireball." And then, here comes the shockwave. And I was like, "Damn, he's miles away and could feel the shockwave." Yeah, that was not good. That was not good.
No, that was not good.
It kind of reminded me of that big explosion in the Iranian port.
Oh yeah,
which was actually a Blevy, but it was from the massive story. This is all, kids. If you have a warehouse, make sure you do this. Always store fertilizer and ammonium nitrate with fireworks under the same building. Works well.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
When I saw that boom today, the first thing I thought of was Marvin Martian with his telescope. There's my kaboom. There's my loud earth-shattering kaboom. Anyway, sorry. It's another one I can sometimes pull off, so I had to work it in there. Oh, but yeah. So look, I get it. Right? I think Elon Musk's reply was awesome. He's like, "Yeah, rockets are hard." Bit of double entendre there from Elon, I'm pretty sure. But
oh yeah, no, absolutely.
But yeah, no, I mean, he's not wrong. But the thing about it is, these people were contracted to start sending stuff to the moon in a few months using this thing, and yeah, I don't think that's happening.
No, that is not.
Because there was some major structural damage to the gantry and the surrounding stuff with his.
Oh yeah.
So, there was a term I had to look up live on the air today because as a nerd, it's something that I hadn't even ever heard. It was this was almost a wick level event, and I'm like, what the hell does that even mean? Apparently, it was coined after a similar explosion, and it's basically named after the guy who was talking about how, even though one of these was an unmanned launch, I think all the way back in like 2001-ish or something, that if there was enough structural damage, it might have derailed the entire program with zero loss of life. So wick actually became a recognized term for a really bad event with structural damage. And this one was really close. Really close. So,
well, I became a risk manager for my department when I was working at EVOC and also the range itself. And I went to a lot of Gordon Graham seminars and whatnot, and
Mhm.
et cetera. But you cannot afford to be completely risk averse. And today's nation, today's U.S., is so entirely risk adverse. If you go back in history, would we tolerate this again? I'm not so sure. We lost, I think it was about 30 or so astronauts during both programs. Well, 4 programs, Challenger plus the other 3 space programs, plus astronauts who were training and crashed their jets, etc. And then during World War II, and I can remember my dad telling me this, he said, if you made it out of Pry-Fly school, you were one of the lucky ones. So I went back and started looking at stats. Just in the U.S. Army Air Corps in World War II, 13,000 aviators, potential aviators, students were killed in training accidents just in the U.S. Army Air Corps, just in training, trying to get people ready for World War II to fly. No one would put up with that. We'd rather
No.
be conquered today
Mhm,
than have to
mhm.
withstand stats like that. And
Yep.
that's what people did. That was
And
David
I mean,
Muir.
well, I talk about it all the time. I mean, if there was a way for us to do like the westward expansion again, like we did, in 17, 18, 19, early, late 17, early 1800s, mid 1800s, we wouldn't do it again because it would, oh my God, it's too dangerous. I mean, there were people that just loaded everything up onto a wagon and went west and were hoping they would survive long enough to get there. I mean,
Right.
we used to joke about it with a game called Oregon Trail, and half the fun in that game was seeing the different ways that you died. Mine
Mhm.
9 times out of 10 was dysentery.
Yep. Oh, drowning. Your wagon has capsized. You have
And
lost
you
the
have
following.
drowned.
Your entire fucking family. So,
But yeah, I mean, we just it's like we've lost something somewhere along the way. But it's the guys like this, and granted, now it takes millionaires and billionaires to be able to do it, which is kind of sad when you think about it. That it takes people that have all that kind of stuff going on that can even get things like this done. But now we're getting to the point where we're talking about a spaceward expansion, and I think there are a lot of folks that'll be like, "I'm not going to do that. I'm too afraid." Shoot,
mhm,
I'd move to the moon because I'd be skinny there, or at least I'd feel skinny there.
mhm.
Just saying,
Right,
I'd move
right.
to the moon.
I can
I'd
jump and do things I can only do on the pool down here. By
right.
the by, he's sleeping.
Nice. You
Totally
finally got
finally got him to sleep.
That's
nice.
so cute. I am particularly susceptible to cute right now.
Yeah, I can imagine.
He really is. He really is.
But it's still cute.
He drives me nuts, but yes, he's adorable.
Yeah.
So,
He'll grow out of that. Catnip. A
and
solution is
we have not tried that yet. We're gonna,
Oh,
He's too
catnip.
young for that now. Don't.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah, yeah. We're gonna
Catnip.
wait.
Okay, when he's an adult, catnip equals, oh, that's grand fun.
Yeah, catnip and a kitten,
Mhm.
and he's doing enough of that. He doesn't need any help with that. So,
No,
yeah,
he does
don't do
not.
it. But yeah, anyway. All right. Well, believe it or not, we are coming to the end of our hour together. There's one more thing that I kind of want to touch on, I guess, is kind of my story because I haven't found time to write again because I was onboarding a new show for the last couple of weeks. So there's an interesting piece from Town Hall, and I don't think this time it was Amy. I don't remember who wrote it, but I don't think it was her. Apparently, there's some. So not only are they afraid that Republicans are going to make James Tallarico weird and creepy, which he's already done, all on his own. They're afraid that he's already painted himself into a bit of a corner because he's trying to walk back or soften a lot of the things that he said previously. So in a CBS News interview, Tallarico said his "God is non-binary" comment was meant to be intentionally provocative, and that his larger point was that God cannot be defined by human categories. If that was the point you were trying to make, I'm pretty sure you would have said that.
Right. That's not hard to say. You said it just now, buddy.
Just saying. So he also tried to reframe his record by highlighting bipartisan work on property taxes, teacher pay, housing, childcare, and prescription drugs, while saying he had criticized extremes in both parties. On the gender issue, he clarified, "I know there are two sexes, men and women," while noting rare intersex cases. But again, that's not what you said. You said there are 6 genders. And yeah, no. So yeah. My favorite walk back is, just a few weeks ago, he was like, "I'm proud that we are running the first vegan campaign in Texas." And now he's like, "I ate barbecue since before Paxton's first indictment," while holding it with a napkin.
Right. That
Come on.
The joke I want to make is so inappropriate, but
Do it.
yeah, that's
come on.
That's not, he likes meat, but not that kind of meat. That's all I'm gonna say. Is seriously, like,
are you trying to say GHEY?
Well, he's got the Georgina Glass girlfriend that nobody has seen a picture of, a social media post from, but she totally exists, and he's totally not like the next Pete Buttigieg. Sure, okay, not that they're whatever. Live your life the way you want.
Anything wrong with that?
Don't pretend that you're something that you're not. Like
he kind of gave the farm away with another tweet that he made a while ago when he said, "Our political issue isn't a left or right problem; it's a top or bottom problem."
I honestly, you're seriously, it's a real thing. It's a real mailer. Your campaign staff secretly hate you.
I missed that, so thank you.
Yeah, hang on.
I needed to laugh.
I will send it to you because you have to see it with your own eyes. It is glorious.
Stimpy, how many times have I told you I am the pitcher, you are the catcher?
And that.
It is in the group chat now on X.
Nice. Oh, okay. All right. So we'll start with BZ. You said you had a particular story you wanted to talk about on the way out. So I'm trying to get it pulled up again now because I think I've lost it. I mean, never really had it to begin with, but that's
right. I never had it to begin with anyway. That's what everybody's been telling me all these years. I think it's interesting that Biden is suing the Justice Department to block the release of those audio files from a biographer interview. And like the present that just won't go away, Jill Biden still is insisting on pushing Joe out on Front Street and then laying everything off on, "Oh, well, he had a stroke." Wait, if you thought he had a stroke, coupled with all the other absolutely 100% insincere things that you put him through as an elder abuser because you were a power monger and you couldn't go away. The Democrats just wanted you to go away afterwards, and no, you insist on doing that. And so you filed a suit to keep this. And this is, I think it says everything about Joe Biden and her. The grift is ended because Joe has nothing to exchange anymore. So she's on the book, but she's stopping something from coming out, if he was as sharp as she indicated, from interviews 10 years ago. She fears an interview from 10 years ago in 2016 and 2017 that would be absolutely way too revelatory in terms of Joe Biden and the autopen regime. It's just like the Democrats. For once, I agree with them. Joe, Jill, go the hell away. Go away.
Well, just call her Edith Bowling Biden because, reasons. So my thing with this, right? So she's, and this has come out in a recent interview that she did, that she's watching him during this debate, and she's like, "Oh my God, he's having a stroke." And yet they went to a Waffle House instead of an ER.
Right.
And being in the audience, she decided, "Oh, well, even though that's what I think, I'm not going to do a thing. Hey, if he cacks on the podium, who cares?"
Right. There are so many bad people in this world, but Jill Biden is evil. Is absolutely evil. Don't mean to say Joe Biden is not a good man, but for her to sit there and then watch, knowing they knew before he ran in 2020 that he had cancer, because you don't get to stage 4 metastatic bone cancer, prostate cancer overnight. That is a slow progressing disease. 2, coupled with all the symptoms he had, the confusion, which, baseline is probably some sort of dementia, but hormone treatment, the treatment for this cancer also creates those symptoms. Everything lines up that this guy probably had cancer the entire time he was in office. She knew that. Instead of pulling him back from the public eye and letting him live the rest of his days in dignity and peace and quiet, she kept him out here. She said he had a stroke. She took him to Waffle House, and then she wanted him to have another 4 years in office. She is an evil, evil person. There is no world in which I would do that to a man I claimed to love, to a man I was married to. No, your job as his wife when he is sick like that is to take care of him, not to put him out there to peddle a book, make yourself first lady, give yourself power. She is a vile human being and one of the worst people to ever be in the office of first lady. And that's with Hillary Clinton on the list.
An abject power monger.
Well,
She really is.
Let's not forget the first man whore, Big Mike, either. So,
Okay.
just saying.
True.
I'm throwing that in there because that was going to be what I was going to call Bill Clinton for 4 years if she had won, was the first man whore. So I had to figure out a way to get in that throwaway line. Anyway, so and Amy, what do you got for your story for the week?
My story for the week is a very, very local story because here in Wisconsin, Tony Evers, our governor, is done. He is not seeking re-election, which is fine. He will not be missed. The woman who is looking to replace him, one of the women who is looking to replace him, the Democrats have a very crowded field, is Francesca Hong. And she has the momentum. She's the only one I'm seeing signs for. She is dangerous. She is on record saying she will defund the police. There's no way to rehabilitate them. She wants them gone. She wants to reduce Wisconsin's prisons population. And she will use the National Guard to arrest ICE agents in the state. The Democrats, it seems, planted this story about the police with CNN because they're trying to torpedo her campaign because they know she's going to lose to Tom Tiffany and she's going to lose in a landslide. She came out yesterday and said she will deliver public safety. And that's a very specific term that she uses, public safety, throughout this 2.5-minute speech that she gives, where she talks to people like we're 5 years old and slightly retarded. And no, I'm going to deliver public safety. Everyone in Wisconsin deserves to be safe from crime, safe in their communities. And then what she lists is a laundry list of, I'm going to spend money on social programs, schools, affordable housing, jobs, welfare, to combat crime. But I'm not going to put anybody in prison. I'm not going to fund the police. She is not just wrong, she is dangerous. And I didn't realize how dangerous she was until I listened to this video.
I have it.
And
if
Wisconsin
you want.
voters.
We should let everybody listen to it because we have it. So
yeah, everybody needs to listen to this for 2 minutes.
Folks, let's talk about public safety. Everyone in Wisconsin deserves to be safe. Safe from crime, safe in their communities, in their homes, safe from abuses of power, and safe from the conditions.
Okay, I'm going to let her keep talking in a second, but she looks like a damn bobblehead. I'm sorry. I cannot unsee that now.
That make communities unsafe in the first place. Poverty, a lack of good jobs with good benefits, a lack of affordable housing, underfunded schools, and underfunded out-of-school programs for our kids. Right now, Wisconsin isn't delivering that. Our crime rates are falling, but our prison population is heading towards record highs. We keep sending people back to prison for minor rule violations while on probation, often tied to substance use disorders, not new crimes. We are sending people who need treatment into prison beds at an enormous public cost, and Wisconsin incarcerates Black residents at the highest rate in the nation. And for more than a decade, the Republican legislature has starved local governments of funding, didn't give them their fair share of revenue, so our tax dollars that should have gone to cities and counties, to the people who actually build the things and fund the programs that prevent crime, they don't have adequate resources. So if we're going to talk about who defunded public safety in Wisconsin, let's start the conversation there. Now, some cities in our state spend more than half their budgets on police, on tanks, drones, as if military equipment and flock cameras can solve the problems that closed schools, the problems that created affordable housing crises. Well, they can't. I don't like crime. I don't like unsafe streets. I don't like when someone in law enforcement abuses their power. And there's no way I'm going to cut public safety. I want to deliver it. That means investing in what the evidence shows prevents crime. Affordable housing for everyone, mental health care, addiction treatment resources, good jobs with good benefits, and fully funded public schools. That's not soft on crime. That's serious about safety.
What a load of horse shit. Absolute
Sorry,
horseshit.
go ahead.
Our crime rate is going down, but our prison population is going up. I think those two things might just be related. Call me crazy, but when you put criminals in jail, you get less crime.
Murders have gone down. Crime itself has not gone down. Ask the local cops about skewing stats. Ask DC about that as well. I'm curious. Michelle Wu is nothing but a hack for the CCP. What is her relationship to the CCP?
I am looking into that because I would bet you there are ties.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, there are absolutely
Who got her funding from CCP backed organizations?
Oh, it would not surprise me at all.
Yeah, probably not. But I have a question. Is she running for governor or auditioning to be a librarian?
She is running for governor, even though she sounds like she is auditioning to replace Miss Rachel. But I am an adult. Don't talk to me like I'm a child. And don't lie to my face about what your plans are. She said just the other day on a podcast she was going to use the National Guard to arrest ICE agents in the state. She is on the record repeatedly saying she's going to defund the police. And when asked recently if she was going to walk that back, she refused to walk that back. There's a reason the term public safety was peppered throughout those remarks, because her definition of public safety is spending a shit ton of money on public programs that will not do anything to solve violent crime while releasing the prison population so people like me can get shot and killed, raped and robbed. And she'll just go, oh, well, it's the price of living in a big city and we need to spend more money. And the fully funded public schools line, that is a nod to she will destroy our school choice program. Wisconsin has one of the best school choice programs in the nation. It's the reason why my kids went to the high school they went to, and she is going to take that away from them. And every other kid, especially the Black and Hispanic kids in Milwaukee County, who are stuck in one of the worst school districts in the country. Black kids in MPS perform at the bottom on tests nationally. And she's going to throw more money at the problem instead of fixing it. She cannot win this election.
Here's what we're going to have. We're going to have this pretty soon. I don't know when it's going to occur, but it's going to have to occur. There's going to be some local, state, county, city, law enforcement individual or politician who will say, I want X individual officer, federal officer arrested. And the moment that a hand from a state or local officer goes on a federal officer for a crime that is not applicable to a federal officer, that's going to have to happen, because that's going to have to happen, or this will continue. There's going to have to be pushback in some fashion, and both cops on both sides being what they are, there's going to be a fight. There's going to be a problem. And the only way that comes to a head, it's going to have to be pushed, and leftists are pushing it. So it either gets handled in the street or it's going to get handled in the court, but it's going to get handled.
We had so much to talk about today that I never even got a chance to talk about Der Osterfuhrer because, he's back in the news again. Anyway. All right. So, Amy, where can folks find you? Because we're already 10 minutes past. Well, about 10 minutes past anyway.
Uh-oh, she froze.
Yeah.
I
froze again?
There she is.
Okay, good. I was going to say, I don't want to lose. Like, we're almost done. Just, all right. AT&T, and the thing is, it's not even raining here today, so I don't know why AT&T is being stupid, but AT&T is being stupid. So, anyway. Oh, now everybody froze.
No, we're still, okay. I think we're still here. I don't know.
Okay.
So where can folks find you, Amy?
You can find me on townhall.com, at Ranty Amy Curtis on Twitter. Go to Amazon, buy my book. I was just on with BZ, was it last week or the week before?
Yep.
We had a great stream about the book. Go give that a listen.
Uh-oh.
And she froze again.
And bye, Amy.
The hamster fell off the wheel, Amy. All right. So, yeah, go buy her book, Gaslight, Amy Curtis. Go check out BZ's podcast where they did an in-depth dive, including his multiple tabs for Amy's book, because, yeah, he had a lot of them. And while we wait to see if she's ever going to be able to rejoin us, where can folks find you, BZ?
I'm probably going to be back next week. And the show is Tuesday and Thursday nights here on KLRN and on SHR Media, BZ's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show, live and direct on both venues and all the other places that pods can be found. Tuesday and Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Central, very important to you, 11 p.m. Eastern. I am your conservative Sherpa, and thanks for having me on the show, sir.
Not a problem. So what do you think the over-under is on Winston playing with her modem?
Oh, I hadn't thought about that. It's like little sharp kitty claws, disconnect. Okay, good point.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's probably what happened there because that last one stuck.
Yep.
I think he found some cables. All right, folks, we're going to get out of here. I think the cute cat did Amy in. Want to thank everybody for hanging out with us. There will not be a He Said, She Said tonight. Aggie's out with family stuff. I am seeing if we can put together a Men Explain Poorly, though, since we didn't do a show on Tuesday night because I had a terrible headache and didn't feel like being under a fluorescent lights in my office.
I want to see that. I've never seen one of those MEP shows. I want to see it. I want to see it.
All right. Well, I've got one yes so far. We'll see if anybody else wants to join. As soon as I know, you'll know. My name's Rick. He's BZ. This has been the Weekend News Roundup. Podcast version coming shortly for those of you that are just joining us for whatever reason. You late slacker type peoples. Say goodnight.